Welcome back to Ohio Means Business. The retail industry is the second largest industry in the U.S. Last year, it generated $2.4 trillion in sales. Ohio plays a key role now and in the future. Joining us now with the bottom line is Michael Bills, executive in residence at Ohio State's Fisher College of Business. He also worked in retail consulting for 20 years. Michael, thanks for joining us.
Right. Thanks for having me.
Love the title, executive in residence. Sounds really cool. Tell us about retail marketing, the history here in Ohio, where the Columbus was sort of a test market, but that may not be the case anymore, right?
Sure. I think a lot of people assume that Columbus and Ohio's sort of dominance in the retail industry is based on the fact that it's a test market. And while that has historically been part of the mix and reason for it being a major player in this space, it really has sort of outgrown that. It is not necessarily an indicative market anymore for testing products or testing new branded concepts. But while it is still true that a lot of new products or services may do well in Columbus and then subsequently do well nationally as a result, the real issue is that the history of our consulting background is really based at Ohio State.
And that goes all the way back to the 60s with, what, is it Management Horizons?
Yeah, it started with a few Ohio State professors, people like Bill Davidson, David Collette, Alton Duty, who some of whom started Retail Forward, which is originally called Management Horizons, which then became Retail Forward and is now part of WPP, which is the largest marketing services and advertising conglomerate, and now known as Kantar Retail. And that organization really spun off a lot of retail consulting firms here in the city.
And the question, I guess, is why? Why Central Ohio specifically? Not only for retail, the industry, but also for retail consultants who are brilliant, by the way.
Yeah.
Why did it happen? Is the answer Ohio State and Fisher College?
Well, I think that's the beginning of it, particularly as it relates to the consulting practices. But you know, a couple other things have conspired to sort of make Columbus a kind of a hotbed for retail in general. From a geography perspective, for retail distribution, JCPenney, Eddie Bauer organizations utilize this market for distribution of products and services because of its access to a third to a half of the U.S. population within a few hours, because of Ohio State from a consulting perspective. And then subsequent to that, obviously, Mr. Wexner and the creation of the limited concepts, the Schottenstein's family. So today we have over 30 different retail brands that are located here in Columbus that make this, I think, second only to cities like New York or a city like Minneapolis for retail concentration.
It really is fascinating how much of a world, how we compete in the world. Your area of expertise, one of them, is called consumer-centricity. What is that?
Yeah, this is about really acknowledging that because of the advent of the internet, because of choice and access to products, goods, and services, that consumers really have control today over their purchase decisions. It really is not limited by geography. It's not limited by the number or specific types of retailers that are in your market, but a consumer really has a choice to buy something as easily from Mumbai as they do from driving down the street to their local neighborhood downtown center, or out to the suburbs to a Walmart, or even flying to New York for the weekend to buy a product. That they can, through the internet, access products however, whenever, and whyever they like to. So consumer centricity is about understanding that construct and developing your entire brand proposition and value proposition around the consumer. So not just doing consumer research, being consumer focused, but instead being actually consumer centric in how you position your brand, how you offer up products, goods, and services to them.
Let's finish it off with your philosophy of marketing. The ultimate goal is to reach out and affect somebody in the way that you want to affect them, and that's preferably to buy the product.
Right.
Your philosophy and the best way to do that?
Well, you know, I think it's grounded in this idea of consumer centricity. This has been a challenging retail market, to say the least, for the last couple of years. It appears as if it is rebounding some. However, some behaviors seem to have been permanently affected by the recession, particularly with certain segments of the population who, you know, were on a wild spending spree for a good couple of decades, who I think have reconsidered their purchase decisions, and in many cases don't have as much expendable salary or income to make those types of choices they once did. So this is really about understanding who your consumer is and segmenting the population in a much more sort of individualized manner. So I'd say that my real focus is really about understanding how to market on a one-to-one basis to individuals and pulling consumers as opposed to this idea of a sort of push mentality.
Michael Bills from Fisher College of Business.
Thanks.
Thank you, sir.